Crew members share what they're not allowed to tell you. There's a hidden world on every cruise ship that passengers never see. A world where different rules apply, different food is served, and secrets are carefully guarded. Welcome to Cruise Compendium, where today, we're pulling back the curtain on what cruise ship crew members are absolutely forbidden from telling you. Picture this. While you're sipping a $12 cocktail by the pool, just 5 decks below your feet exists an entirely separate city. A city most passengers don't even know exists. Every cruise ship operates as 2 distinct worlds stacked on top of each other. The glossy, polished guest areas above deck, and the hidden crew quarters below. And between these 2 worlds, a divide that's more extreme than most passengers could ever imagine. The crew members who serve your meals, clean your cabins, and ensure your vacation runs smoothly live in conditions that would shock you. They work under rules so strict that even discussing them openly could cost them their jobs. But today, we're going to reveal what really happens behind those doors marked crew only. Secret number 1. The pay gap nobody talks about. Here's something that would surprise most passengers. 2 crew members doing the exact same job, with the same responsibilities, working the same hours, can be paid dramatically different salaries. Why? It all comes down to nationality. Cruise lines operate a tiered pay system based on where crew members come from. A youth counselor from Canada might earn 3 times more than a youth counselor from the Philippines doing identical work. A waiter from Italy works shorter contracts for higher pay than someone from Indonesia performing the same service. This isn't just speculation. Multiple crew members have confirmed this practice exists across all major cruise lines. The system works like this. Cruise lines justify the wage disparity by pointing to cost of living differences in crew members' home countries. For someone from the Philippines, where the minimum wage is around $10 to $12 per day, earning $1,500 a month at sea represents a life-changing opportunity. It can support an entire extended family. But for a crew member from the UK, where the minimum wage is equivalent to around $14 per hour, that same $1,500 monthly salary falls far below a livable wage. So British crew members typically receive higher base pay for identical roles. Many crew members from developing nations pay hefty fees just to secure these positions. Recruitment agencies charge anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, equivalent to 3 to 4 months' salary. These workers arrive already in debt before their first shift even begins. If you're finding these revelations eye-opening, make sure you're subscribed to Cruise Compendium. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the cruise industry's best-kept secrets. Secret number 2. The I-95, a hidden highway through the ship. Passengers typically see about 40% of any cruise ship. The rest? It's an intricate network of narrow corridors, cramped spaces, and functional areas that keep the floating city running. The crew's main artery is nicknamed the I-95, named after the iconic highway running down the east coast of the United States. This long corridor runs the entire length of the ship, usually on Deck 0 or Deck 1, connecting everything from crew cabins to workspaces without ever passing through passenger areas. Picture a busy urban highway compressed into a narrow hallway. At peak times during embarkation and disembarkation, the I-95 becomes a controlled chaos of trolleys, luggage, supplies, and crew members rushing between shifts. The walls are lined with notice boards displaying regulations, training schedules, and announcements. It's how information flows through the crew community. This corridor is where luggage gets sorted, garbage gets temporarily stored, and crew members catch brief moments to chat with friends they might not otherwise see. For many crew, especially those on larger ships, you can work for months and still encounter people you've never met before, all living in this hidden world. Some passengers get brief glimpses of the I-95 when boarding tender boats or visiting the medical facility. But most never realize they're walking past entire neighborhoods of people working and living just on the other side of those unmarked doors. Secret number 3. Living quarters that would shock you. Let's talk about where crew members actually live. The average crew cabin measures about 120 square feet. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the size of a small bedroom closet. Most crew members share these tiny spaces with 1 to 3 other people, sleeping in bunk beds stacked like sardine cans. These cabins typically contain a bunk bed, a small closet with drawers, a mini refrigerator, a small desk, a couple of chairs, and a bathroom shared only with roommates. There are no windows. Many cabins sit below the waterline, where the constant splash of waves and hum of engines create a soundtrack that never stops. Compare this to passenger accommodations, and the difference is staggering. Now, there is a hierarchy. Senior officers and the captain enjoy private quarters with actual windows, space to move, and sometimes even luxurious amenities. The captain typically resides near the bridge in what could rival a passenger suite, complete with separate living areas and proper views of the ocean. But for the vast majority of crew members, home for 4 to 9 months straight is a windowless box shared with strangers. Many crew describe it as living in a submarine. You lose track of whether it's day or night. Your only private space is your bunk. When you're off duty, there's a crew recreation area, usually located on the bow or highest deck above passenger areas. Here, crew members can access small pools or hot tubs, get fresh air, and socialize during their limited free time. It's one of the few places they can actually see the ocean they're sailing across. Secret number 4, the food divide. While passengers dine on premium steaks, fresh seafood, and elaborate desserts, crew members eat in their own mess halls with very different menus. The quality varies by ship and by rank, but the pattern is consistent. Passenger food and crew food come from different kitchens, different ingredients, and different standards. Ships that serve 15,000 meals daily to guests maintain separate, lower-grade provisions for crew dining. Here's the policy that really stings. Crew members are absolutely forbidden from eating passenger food. Even untouched items must go straight to disposal, rather than to crew mess halls. Breaking this rule means immediate termination. Think about the irony. Crew members, many from countries where food scarcity is real, must throw away trays of perfectly good premium food while subsisting on basic provisions. Some have described nearly weeping while dumping high-quality steaks and seafood, knowing their families back home struggle to afford staple foods. There's a dark humor among crew about what they call midnight feeding time. Around midnight, some of the food not used in guest dining rooms makes its way down to crew areas. This is when crew might finally taste the fancy desserts passengers have passed on. But this is the exception, not the rule. Higher-ranking crew and officers sometimes have access to better food quality and can occasionally eat in passenger buffet areas, but only during specific off-peak hours. The hierarchy extends even to meals. Secret number 5. The work schedule nobody believes. Before we continue, if you're learning something new about cruising today, show your support by giving this video a thumbs up. It helps us reach more curious travelers like you. Imagine working every single day for 6 to 9 months straight. No weekends, no holidays, no sick days. That's the reality for most cruise ship crew members. The standard contract stipulates work periods ranging from 4 to 9 months, depending on the role and cruise line. During that entire time, crew works 7 days a week. Shifts typically run 10 to 13 hours daily, though some positions, like dining room waiters, can stretch to 16-hour days. If you get sick, you have a choice. Work through it, or risk being sent home at your own expense and blacklisted from future contracts. Too many sick days can cost you your contract entirely. Crew members regularly work through fevers, infections, and injuries just to avoid termination. The math is sobering. Many collective agreements require crew to work 80 hours per week. Surveys show that 95% of shipboard employees work 7 days a week throughout their entire contract. But here's where it gets complex. The economic reality is that for many crew members, these conditions represent significant improvement over opportunities in their home countries. A housekeeper from Myanmar might not see her children for 3 years, working back-to-back contracts to pay for their education. But that sacrifice builds homes, funds schooling, and lifts entire families out of poverty. One American crew member described colleagues proudly showing him photos of 3-bedroom houses with ocean views and private pools, all built from cruise ship earnings. The wages that seem minimal by Western standards can be absolutely transformative in other economies. Secret number 6, the crew bar culture. After those grueling shifts, crew members need somewhere to decompress. Enter the crew bar. Don't picture anything glamorous. The crew bar is typically a windowless space with fluorescent lighting and metal furniture bolted to the floor, usually located on Deck 3 or along the I-95. But it serves as the social heart of crew life. Here's where the economics get interesting. While passengers pay $12 for a watered-down cocktail, crew members pay 50 cents for a beer and $1 for hard liquor. You can get thoroughly drunk for less than the price of a passenger's appetizer. This isn't accidental. Cruise lines understand that cheap alcohol serves multiple purposes. It provides an outlet for stress, keeps crew members spending their wages on board rather than saving them, and maintains a workforce that's compliant despite challenging conditions. The crew bar becomes alive with music and social activity. It's where friendships form, romances blossom, and the hierarchy temporarily blurs. Even the highest-ranked officers can party alongside the lowest positions on the organizational chart. There's also typically an officer's bar for more senior staff who want separation from general crew. But with lots of alcohol inevitably comes inappropriate behavior. Much of this misconduct flies below the radar. The common phrase holds true. What happens in the crew bar stays in the crew bar. Secret number 7, the relationship rules. This is perhaps the most strictly enforced secret of all. Crew members are absolutely forbidden from pursuing romantic or sexual relationships with passengers. Not discouraged, forbidden. Get caught, and you're off the ship at the next port, paying your own way home, and blacklisted from working on cruise ships industry-wide. No appeals. No second chances. The policy exists because cruise lines are 100% liable for crew conduct. If a passenger misinterprets a relationship or correctly interprets it and reports it as harassment or assault, the cruise line faces massive legal liability. Security can even involve local authorities if behavior crosses into harassment. Former crew members describe the challenge. Your job requires being friendly, even flirtatious, to ensure guests have wonderful experiences. But where's the line? Cultural differences among international crew make this even murkier. What seems like harmless friendliness in one culture might be perceived as flirtation in another. Despite the severe consequences, it happens more than you'd think. The combination of exotic locations, flowing alcohol, temporary relationships, and the intensity of ship life creates a perfect storm for forbidden attractions. Crew members risk their entire careers for fleeting romances with people they'll likely never see again after disembarkation. Secret number 8, what happens when people die? Every large cruise ship has a morgue, and it's used more frequently than passengers realize. The facilities typically have space for 3 to 6 bodies, refrigerated and waiting in the bowels of the ship. On a typical 7-day cruise carrying 3,000 passengers, at least one death is statistically likely, especially on longer voyages attracting older demographics. Crew train monthly on body handling procedures, but they're instructed never to use the word death over ship communications. Instead, they use code words like Code Oscar or Operation Rising Star. These coded messages alert crew to emergencies without alarming guests. Security teams are trained to clear corridors and transport bodies without a single passenger noticing. Housekeeping has special protocols for sanitizing cabins where deaths occur. The practiced efficiency is both impressive and haunting. Ships carry basic medical facilities, essentially floating urgent care clinics, but anything requiring advanced care means immediate evacuation. These helicopter evacuations can cost passengers upwards of $50,000 if they're not properly insured. Crew members have witnessed families financially ruined by heart attacks in the middle of the Caribbean. There's even an urban legend among crew. If free ice cream is suddenly being served to passengers, it might indicate the crew is clearing freezer space to store a body when the morgue is full. While officials state morgues typically have adequate capacity, the rumor persists in crew culture. We're revealing more cruise industry secrets every week here on Cruise Compendium. Subscribe now and join our community of informed cruisers who want to know the real stories behind the glossy brochures. Secret number 9, the tip reality. You might think those automatic gratuities added to your bill go directly to crew members. The reality is more complicated. Cruise lines pool these tips, take administrative fees, and distribute what remains according to formulas that often favor positions passengers never interact with. A cabin steward working 16-hour days maintaining 25 rooms spotless might take home less than $600 monthly after the cruise line's deductions. Meanwhile, the corporation reports the full gratuity amount as crew compensation to regulators, creating an illusion of fair wages. Cash tips handed directly to crew face their own challenges. Some ships forbid crew from keeping cash, requiring them to turn it in for pooling. Others technically allow it but create environments where refusing to share with supervisors carries subtle consequences. Comment cards and online reviews that mention crew members by name can actually impact their paychecks. Positive reviews can lead to bonuses, but the system also means crew members are constantly performing, knowing their livelihood depends on passenger satisfaction scores. Secret number 10, the surveillance state. Crew members are monitored essentially 24/7, both on and off duty. Security cameras cover virtually every public space, and the surveillance extends into crew areas as well. Crew members are trained to spot everything from potential security threats to passengers who might be problems after a few drinks. That friendly bartender making small talk? They're simultaneously assessing whether you're going to cause trouble 3 drinks from now. The cabin steward who remembers your name? They're also noting any concerning behaviors to report up the chain. Even in their off time, crew behavior is monitored and regulated. Random drug and alcohol testing happens regularly, regardless of rank or number of contracts completed. There's a zero-tolerance policy, and violations mean immediate termination. The surveillance creates a strange bubble where crew members must maintain their professional persona, even during their limited free time. Being caught in passenger areas during off-duty hours, drinking to excess in visible areas, or fraternizing inappropriately can all lead to disciplinary action. Secret number 11, the environmental reality. This is perhaps the most controversial secret of all, and one that crew members witness firsthand, but are discouraged from discussing. Despite regulations and public commitments to environmental protection, crew members have reported witnessing corners being cut, food waste dumping in protected waters when they think nobody's watching, gray water from showers and sinks receiving minimal treatment before being pumped into the ocean, large ships generating 7 tons of garbage daily, with much of it going into incinerators that emit black smoke in the middle of the night. The cruise industry's marketing shows dolphins playing in shipwakes and pristine beaches. What they don't show are the coral reefs damaged by anchors or small port communities overwhelmed by thousands of daily visitors who contribute little to local economies. Newer ships are incorporating better technology. Some vessels now use biodigesters that work like giant stomachs, breaking down food waste with bacteria. Others employ advanced water treatment systems and waste-to-energy conversion. But the environmental footprint remains massive, and crew members see the gap between public messaging and operational reality. Secret number 12, the maintenance concerns. Those relaxing sea days serve a crucial behind-the-scenes purpose. While passengers lounge by pools and attend art auctions, maintenance crews work frantically to repair everything that broke during port days. Crew members have photographed couples renewing vows on beautiful decks while directly below, teams welded cracked support beams that engineering reports said should have been replaced months ago. Modern cruise ships rely heavily on sophisticated autopilot systems. The captain's actual job involves more paperwork than steering, managing what's essentially a floating corporation with thousands of people aboard, rather than wrestling with wind and waves. Most actual navigation happens via automated systems and junior officers on watch rotations. The maintenance logs tell stories. Cruise lines would prefer passengers never read. Deferred repairs, improvised solutions, and fingers crossed that nothing critical fails mid-voyage. It's a reality of operating massive mechanical systems in corrosive ocean environments while maintaining tight sailing schedules. Secret number 13, the real safety drills. Passengers often groan through mandatory muster drills. For crew, safety training is serious business with weekly practice evacuations, fire responses, and emergency procedures. They understand that if disaster strikes, they're responsible for hundreds or thousands of lives. But here's the secret. These drills sometimes reveal concerning unpreparedness. Crew members have witnessed confusion, missed steps, and shortcuts taken to finish quickly. Different departments showing varying levels of readiness. Language barriers causing communication breakdowns during simulated emergencies. The same crew working extreme hours with minimal rest are expected to perform flawlessly during life-threatening situations. It's a sobering reality that most passengers never consider. After revealing all these secrets, here's the most important truth. Behind every cocktail served, every bed made, every smile at the gangway, there's a real person making significant sacrifices. Many crew members describe cruise ship work as simultaneously the best and worst experience of their lives. They see the world, forge international friendships, save money that transforms their families' futures, and gain invaluable life experience. But they also endure separation from loved ones, grueling working conditions, and a hierarchical system that can feel dehumanizing. The cruise industry employs hundreds of thousands of people worldwide, and for many from developing nations, these positions represent genuine opportunities for economic advancement. The same conditions that seem exploitative from a Western perspective can be life-changing when viewed through the lens of alternative economic realities. Understanding these secrets doesn't mean you shouldn't cruise, but it does mean cruising with awareness. You can make a difference by treating crew members with respect and dignity. Learn their names. Leave specific positive reviews mentioning crew by name when you experience exceptional service. Tip in cash when possible, handing it directly to the person who served you. Recognize that the person cheerfully folding your towel animals might be working a 16-hour shift, far from their family, all to give you a vacation to remember. The cruise industry is evolving. Some newer ships feature improved crew quarters with windows, single cabins, and better amenities. Lines are facing increasing pressure to improve working conditions, fair wages, and environmental practices. But change happens slowly in an industry built on tight profit margins and international labor dynamics. The secrets we've revealed today represent just the surface of life below Deck 4. Every cruise ship operates as a complex ecosystem, where thousands of people from dozens of countries work together to create seamless vacation experiences for passengers who often never see the machinery making it all possible. These aren't just secrets. They're the human stories behind every voyage, every service interaction, and every "have a wonderful day" you'll hear on board. Understanding this hidden world adds depth to the cruise experience and appreciation for the people who make it possible. Here at Cruise Compendium, we believe knowledge makes us better travelers. When you understand the real dynamics of cruise operations, you can make more informed choices about which lines to support, how to interact with crew members, and what questions to ask about working conditions and environmental practices. The next time you sail, take a moment to look beyond the polished surfaces. Imagine the city operating below your feet. Consider the person serving your drink, what brought them to sea, and what they've sacrificed to be there. That awareness transforms a vacation into something deeper. Thank you for watching this deep dive into cruise ship cruise secrets. If you found these revelations valuable, make sure you're subscribed to Cruise Compendium for more insider looks at the cruise industry. Share this video with fellow cruise enthusiasts who want to understand the full story behind their vacations. Until next time, this is Cruise Compendium, helping you cruise smarter, not harder. Safe travels, and remember, every voyage has two stories. Now you know both of them.